All right, y'all. I think it's time for a change. So, hey, yo, welcome back. This is Ty Ty. So, yeah, there is going to be some changes coming to the channel. I want to give you guys an update for where I want things to go from here. Up until now, we've done a lot of like mixing tutorials, plug-in reviews, things like that. Definitely still going to be in that realm, but I've really been building onto my studio, and I got a lot more analog gear, and I have struggled to get my OBS to be able to record my analog stuff, but I finally figured it out. So I'm going to give you guys a little studio update today and kind of show you guys what I got going on, a couple pieces that I plan to get, and yeah, I hope y'all excited as I am because it's going to be good. And kind of my plan moving forward is, yeah, I'll still do plug-in stuff, still mixing techniques, things like that, but I want to compare like the 1176 analog versus 1176 plug-in, vice versa, the Tube Tech versus the Tube Tech plug-in, things like that, and see actually how close some of this stuff is, and just kind of really dive into it and just get a little different outlook on it, because I'll be honest with you, that's a lot of the type of stuff that I be watching on YouTube. When I first got into this, I was really watching a lot of plug-in stuff, and like the analog world is just a whole, it just seems more real, you know? And I find a lot of enjoyment by that. But all right, so let me get this camera kind of turned around here, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the new stuff that I got. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with the first 500 series chassis that I got. Got a pair of Cranborn Audio Camdens. I absolutely love these preamps. You can do API, Neve, or clean style preamp, and you got these Mojo knobs that just, it's beautiful. And then I have this Empirical Labs de-esser. Man, recording through a de-esser is a game changer for me. Like, it just smooths things out, and you got to do way less work post-production. Got a DBX 560A here. This thing's super slick. A pair of Splice MK2 from Serpent Audio. These are a pair of 1176s, and you can go black or blue face. Like, it's super, super smooth, all in one unit. And then I got this pair of SSL 611 EQs, and this is all sitting in a Bento Pro chassis. It's super, super slick. Gets the job done. All right, and then over here I got a pair of Neve 1073s. It's the DPX. Got rid of my Heritage Audio. This thing is so smooth. Sorry it's a little shaky, but I got to hold it. And then I still got my Warm Audio WA1B. Still love this thing, but it is my backup. All right, so then over here I have a Drummer 1973. This is a multi-band compressor, and this thing is so slick. I got a crazy deal on this thing, and ooh, I can't wait to hop into this one. And then of course, I stepped it up and got the Tube Tech. This is the CL2A. Basically, it is a stereo CL1B. That way I can put it on my mix bus, I can track through it. It's just a little more versatile in my eyes than the 1B, and I think it's only like $500 more. So realistically, when you're already in kind of that deep, it makes sense to just step it up just a little bit more. All right, so then over here, this has been everything that I've been adding on a little more recently. I've had some of the other stuff, but I just got the Cranborn, which I actually need to turn on. This thing's bright when it first comes on, but you can control that through the plug-in. So I got the Cranborn. It is basically kind of a multi-band saturation unit, but it's also, depending on how you're setting it, it can be a clean EQ. I got an API 5500, and then the Mag EQ4. Whew, the plug-in shootout compared to this is gonna be dope. I'm super excited for that. And then down here I got the New Mu from Manley. I was wanting to get a Varimu, but basically this is kind of the updated modern version of it, and it's actually cheaper. It has like the T-bar mod and everything that's built into the Varimu. But yeah, it sounds good. If you want a mix to just sound huge and bold, that's a ticket. And then down here I got my SSL Fusion. Use that on basically every mix bus. And then in this 500 series rack, I got a couple little special units coming here soon. They're just waiting to be released, so I can't wait to get those, and I'll show you guys when I get them. But then this is a tube saturation unit. Basically, it's, in my eyes, it's kind of like a 500 series black box. It's a tube drive by Singular Audio. You can do pentode, triode. It's got mix knobs. Like, you can adjust where you want the saturation to be, the high, mids, lows. It's super, super dope. And then I got a pair of Neve 542s, basically tape emulation. And then you got your red and blue silk. These things, worth every penny. Especially if you get them on sale, you basically stealing them. And then I got a Stam Audio G-Bus. You know, if something's not working with the New, the G-Bus gonna get it every time. And then over here I got the SPL Big. And man, talk about stereo image. All right, so we're getting a little lower here. I gotta hold this. But I got the Stam Audio Stereo Pultec, and it is tube or solid state. And this is basically their flagship Pultec, and worth every penny, bro. Love this thing. And then down here, I got a pair of Audioscape Optos, which is their rendition of the LA2A. Took a little while for these to come in, but it was definitely worth the wait. And then down here, I got my APB from MicDSP. I've done a couple videos on that, but I still have it, and I still love it. I don't use it as much as I used to, but it is still very versatile and fits in where I need it to. And then I got all my patch bays and power condensers down there. All right, so along with all the new gear and everything that I got, I feel extremely, extremely blessed to be able to get this, and especially in the time frame that I have. For those of you that don't know, I got married a year ago, and the day I got back from my honeymoon, I lost my job, and it was tough for me. I've always been a hard worker, and basically, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I had already been approved for this app called TaskRabbit. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, I'm going to mess with this until I try to figure out what I'm going to do. And the biggest blessing in disguise, like I got to thank God, you know, I've been making more money than I've ever made in my life. And I do the YouTube stuff for fun, you know, like if it ever becomes more, awesome. But like, it's really opened up some doors for me to where I've been able to get some good credit and also just pay for some gear straight outright. And like, my mom taught me how to shop. So like Reverb and things like that, like find really good deals. And I got to thank the guys over at Sweetwater. Like, this is not sponsored by any means, but Will provides the most outstanding customer service. Like, I'm so thankful for bro. Like, every time he calls me, like, I just like talking to dude. But, you know, I got some new microphones and things. I got an Atlantis from Loughton Audio on the way. It should be here Tuesday. And, yeah, bro, like, I'm just really, really excited to kind of dive into a new chapter for the channel, and always just stoked to just keep updating the studio and try to just kind of push my level as far as I can. And I know that's not fully dependent on gear, but it sure helps, bro. Like, there's certain pieces here, and I can't wait to show you guys that, like, the plug-in version compared to the actual unit is night and day different. And yeah, the future's looking bright, and I'm excited to bring this to y'all. And I hope y'all just as excited as me. So stay tuned. This is Ty Ty, and I'm going to catch y'all next week. Peace.